Beautiful. Please rise in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn, number 207, Earth Was Given as a Garden.
There was Please be seated. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation at Shelter Rock on this special Sunday when we celebrate the flower ceremony and student recipients of the Edward R. Miller Memorial Music Scholarship.
Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life journey,
whatever the color of your skin or your country of origin, whatever your gender or the source of your faith, you are welcome here.
Ours is a covenantal religion. Our covenant is how we agree to live together in community. Our covenant is aspirational and affirms the common purpose that unites us. Given everything happening in the world around us, UUCSR can be an example of how to show mutual respect, compassion, direct communication, and deep listening to one another.
After the service today, all are invited to enjoy lunch in the social hall. There is a $10 fee for the meal, and if you are a newcomer, lunch is on us.
We invite members to the 1 p.m. annual meeting to vote on various items, including budgets, grants, and board members, as well as to enjoy the president's and treasurer's annual reports. Be there.
Next Sunday, join us for the annual bridging service, woo, where we honor our RE teacher milestones, the kids who are moving up from the questing year, and our graduating high school youth. We're so glad to be together this morning. Now, let us worship. At this time, I invite our chalice lighters forward, Melissa, Tate, and Flagler.
Please follow along with the chalice lighting words and hand motions as you are so moved. We light this chalice, the symbol of the Unitarian Universalism. This is a faith of the open mind. This is a faith of the loving heart. This is a faith of the helping hands. Together we take care of our earth and work for peace and friendship in our world.
Thank you.
As in this podium, please rise in body or spirit for our words of affirmation, followed by our song of affirmation.
Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need. This do we affirm and covenant with each other. seated. This is the time for our story. So I'm going to come over here so I can look at you and you can see me, and I'll come down here. But I want you all to be able to see me as well. But if I'm sitting down, you might not be able to, but you'll be able to hear my words. So can I scoot in here with you? So I wanted to tell you a little bit. Does anyone here know about the story of the flower ceremony? Have you heard about the Unitarian flower ceremony and like where it came from? Oh, good. I get to tell you. I'm so excited. This is wonderful. So in the city of Prague, in the country of what was then called Czechoslovakia, in the year 1923, so more than 100 years ago, there was a Unitarian church. Really, a Unitarian church in Prague, in another country. I've actually seen it. It's at the end of a gorgeous bridge, and you can still go today and see that Unitarian church. Here's the thing, though. The building didn't look like a church. Like, what do you think a church should look like? They have different looks, right? Any ideas? Yes? As long as the space has somewhere to do a ceremony, it can look like a lot of different things, right? Some have stained glass windows, some have steeples, some have pews like we have, some have a piano and an organ, which we just got to hear played for that first hymn when some of us were walking in. That was pretty grand. Well, let me just tell you about this Unitarian church in Prague in 1923. It basically only had a room, a space where people could meet. It didn't have any piano, it didn't have any art on the walls, it didn't have any, definitely not an organ, it didn't have any stained glass. So it was kind of I would say it was a very plain and simple place. And also, it did not have pews. They sat in chairs, and they were really, really hard, stiff, wooden chairs. So it was pretty uncomfortable, but what they did have were people. They had all of the people that would come together and gather every Sunday. It had 4 walls, it had a ceiling, it had a door, a couple of windows, but it was pretty plain and simple. Now, it had a minister too, which also helps. You don't have to have one to be a church, faith community, but sometimes it helps, and many places do. This one did, and his name was Norbert Capek. This is a Czech name. Minister Capek had been there for only 2 years. Do you guys need help? Okay. So he had only been there for 2 years, and he was just getting to know the community. So he was thinking every Sunday he went to church and he spoke to the people while they listened, and they just sat there, listened very quietly. They didn't move around at all. Can you imagine? They didn't play. They didn't have any stuffies to play with or anything. They just sat there listening, not saying a word, staring ahead. And when he was done speaking, the people just would like talk a little bit amongst themselves, and then they went home. But they didn't have a lunch. They didn't even have coffee, which is like, for Unitarian Universalists, this is like a big, you gotta have your coffee. They didn't have any hot chocolate or tea. They just, no social hour, just a few little checking, a little bit of talking, but then they would leave. They would just go home. The congregation was really struggling. They were struggling with questions of belonging and identity. They were having trouble trusting one another, and they kind of didn't really know who they were. You know that word, identity? They kind of were searching for their identity because it was only 5 years after a very big war. And the people were still uncertain how to be together. They wanted to be a free church where people could freely choose to walk together across their differences. But because of the war and because of their fear, they didn't know how to do that. Well, springtime came to Prague, and one Sunday afternoon after church, Minister Capek went for a walk. Have you ever gone for a walk after church here on the grounds? It's beautiful. You should try it. You can even go in the woods. And there's a wildflower garden, and there's a pond. So Minister Capek went on a walk. And as he was walking after the rain, and it was springtime. So what happens after the rain in springtime? A rainbow. I love that. That's not even part of the story, but I think we need to add it. So he's walking, and he sees all of these flowers starting to bloom because it's spring. The leaves have come out on the trees. Even some of the branches have little buds on them. And he had a great idea. So next week, when he went to his congregation, he said, I would like everyone here next week to bring a flower with them. Bring a flower. And the congregation was just like, what are you talking about? This was different. This was change. They usually just sat there and listened and went home. They were not used to participating. They were like, what are you talking about? We don't want it. What kind of flower? What should I bring? Should it be yellow? Should it be purple? I don't know what to do. And he said, everyone, just take a deep breath. Bring whatever kind of bloom or even a twig or a branch from a tree that has a bud that fell on the ground, anything like that, a sign of spring and new life. Just bring it with you. And so the people decided to trust this, crazy, kooky idea from this bonkers new minister that they didn't really know very well. And they said, okay, we're going to do it. We'll trust. And they all brought something with them next week. They collected them all in vases at the front of the worship room. And look at our flowers. They're not in vases, are they? They're in baskets. But we are doing the same thing that they did. They collected all the flowers and they brought them into the front of the worship space, and they noticed something. Each flower was different. Each one of them had a different color, had a different shape, and needed different things to care for it. And they realized that's just like them. That's just like us. Some of us need to eat our tofu, and some of us need to eat our French fries. We all have different things we need. We're all different sizes. We are different colors. We speak different languages. Each one beautiful, just like an individual beautiful flower. And then they saw what happens when they all get put together and how even much more beautiful they were in their diversity. At the end of the service, Minister Capek said to them, what do you think he said to them? Do you think that he said, now just go home empty-handed with no flowers at all after you brought all these flowers? And no. He said, everybody come and take one flower home with you. But here's the rule. You can't take the same flower you brought with you. You have to take home a different flower that someone else offered for you to take home. Now, we are going to get to have our own flower ceremony. This is such a special and unique Unitarian ritual, and I'm thrilled to be able to do it with all of you. But first, we need to bless our beautiful diversity of gorgeous flowers. So I invite you youth to get up with me and surround these flowers so that we can bless them. Let's do it. Let's come around them and look at them and notice how beautiful they are. These flowers come to us from many different places, from gardens and from the wild, from the planted and from the volunteer. Each was chosen by a different hand, carried here for a different reason. Look at them now, gathered together. Each one is beautiful on its own. Together, they are more beautiful still. So hold out your hands over these flowers. We bless these flowers and we bless the hands that brought them. We bless what they have come to teach us, that difference is not something to overcome, but something to be honored, and that beauty multiplies when it is shared. Now, in a moment, each of us will carry a flower out with us. It will not be the one we brought. It will be a gift from someone we may not know, a small piece of another joining ours. Receive it gently, hold it as a blessing, and let it remind you that together we are beautiful. Blessed be. Our youth will choose their flowers first, and then we invite the adults to come forward while singing a hymn, De Colores, and Paul and I will bring baskets down off the chancel in case anyone would like to avoid coming up the stairs. So let us all rise in body or spirit and begin singing together. De Colores, hymn number 305 in the gray hymnal. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone got a flower, and if you didn't, you can come up and get one after. Now, please be seated. When we gather for worship, we have the opportunity toward living our Unitarian Universalist values in the world. By acts of generosity to bring positive change, This Sunday, we are invited to support the Pink Haven Coalition. This is a collection of trans organizers, mutual aid groups, and in response to increasing threats against transgender and non-binary people, Pink Haven helps build networks of direct support for gender-diverse people and their families, including relocation to safer states, connections to mutual aid, and access to gender-affirming health care. So we invite you now to give generously as you are able. There are pew cards, and there's a box out in the lobby, and you can give in a multitude of ways that are explained on the pew card. Thank you. Will you join me now in a time of meditation and prayer? I invite you to close your eyes gently if that feels comfortable for you, and assume whatever posture feels meditative or prayerful for you. A springtime prayer. Power of springtime, spirit of green grasses and warm breezes, goddess of creativity, of birth, of life renewed. You sing all about us at this time. The birds call your sacred name. Buds burst forth with your vestment. The sun reaches higher into the sky, shining the light of this new day through the windows of your cathedral, this world. Power of springtime, forgive us our speediness and our racing before your eternal grace, that we do not see the miracle world we share. Open our eyes with your warmth and our hearts with your beauty. Slow our minds with awe and wonder. Dear spirit of green grasses and warm breezes, let us find here in this moment of quiet the grace of your breath as we breathe into our bodies the spirit of spring. May it be so. Amen. Blessed be.
Sun and moon and stars of light, source of
We have a special presentation now, and while Barry Noble comes forward for that, I want to just thank our choir, our musicians, our music director. We are so grateful for the ways that you hold our spirits and spiritual needs every Sunday.
Hello. In 2005, the Music Committee was looking for a way to continue our talent show tradition, and our current music director, Stephen Michael Smith, came up with the idea of starting a scholarship program to honor the memory of our late music director, Edward Miller. I was committee chair at that time, and I took up Stephen's idea and ran with it. Fortunately, I made the acquaintance of Susan Weber of the Nassau Music Educators Association. It has been her scholarship committee that has enabled us and found for us so many deserving music students over the years. Since our founding, we have distributed over $66,000 in prize money to 37 deserving music students graduating from 26 different high schools in Nassau County. Funding comes from you, the members of this congregation. Thank you for your generous contributions, and I hope to see you at our next fundraising event, Cabaret at Shelter Rock, on the evening of Saturday, November 7th. Write it down. A big thank you to all those who make the scholarship possible, most notably Suzanne Viverito, who is the music director of Cabaret. Ken Hughes, who is the chair of the Music and Performing Arts Committee, is not here today, and neither is our president, Amy Ripley. And thanks to our choir, to Stephen, and our ministers. And a special thank you to the NMEA Scholarship Committee and its chair, our longtime collaborator and friend, Susan Weber, and NMEA President Mary Eileen McNamee. Would you please come? Come up. And now, this year's winners each receive a record amount for us, $3,500. Amaya Greer is graduating Uniondale High School, where she plays trumpet. She participated with the NMEA All-County Jazz Ensemble, playing second trumpet, and with the New York State School Music Association All-State Symphonic Band. She also participated in the Long Island Youth Orchestra. Amaya has been drum major in Uniondale's marching band while teaching other students music and rhythm. She also plays French horn, guitar, and bass guitar at a high level. In addition, Amaya received an award this year from Black Legacy Partners, honoring Black leaders who inspire change and shape the future through their voices, leadership, creativity, advocacy, and entrepreneurship. Amaya hopes to purchase a new trumpet before going off to study music education at Hampton University this fall. Amaya, come on. Come on up here. Alexander Baluyut is graduating from Great Neck North High School, where he plays trombone in pit orchestra, concert band, jazz ensemble, and chamber orchestra. Alex has won many honors, NYSSMA All-State, National Association for Music Education's All-Eastern Concert Band, Metropolitan Youth Orchestra. One summer, he was accepted on scholarship to the prestigious Kinhaven Music School, where he received training from world-class musicians. He was accepted into the Calais Pathways Project at Montclair State University and Equity Arc's National Wind Symphony. This summer, Alex will attend the Brevard Summer Music Center in North Carolina. In the fall, he will be studying performance at the University of Michigan School of Music, Dance, and Theater. Come on up here, Alexander. She takes a picture.
Oh, she's going to take a picture. Come on in. Okay. Oh. Don't go near the camera. I now invite everyone to rise in body or spirit and let us sing together hymn number 301 in the gray hymnal, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky. Well, friends, I do have a homily prepared today. I know we've done things a little bit differently for this service, and I am just so grateful for all of the grace of the congregation to invite us to try out the flower ceremony, which, as I understand, we haven't done in a little while. So thank you. It was very, very lovely. And with all of its beautiful diversity and chaos, we did it. Oh, thank you. Yeah. As someone who grew up Unitarian Universalist, I found myself, when I encountered children and youth of other faith traditions, having very strong rituals in their upcoming in their communities. And so because UUs don't have we don't have a creed, we're non-dogmatic, there's not we have our values, we have our principles, but there were a few touchstones for my ritual and religious life as a child growing up, which still remain for me, which is the water communion in-gathering at the beginning of the congregational year and the flower ceremony in the springtime were two of the kind of uniquely UU things that I always really loved to do as a UU kid. So I'm happy to be able to be part of this community's engagement with those rituals too. We just sang of touching the earth and reaching the sky, of being creatures with our feet in the soil who still lean towards the light. There is no plainer picture of that than a flower. A flower keeps, bless you, a flower keeps one end in the dark earth and opens the other to the sky. And out of that humble stretch between the two, it makes something beautiful. This giving and receiving a flower in recognition of the beauty of the diversity of humanity that gathers here each week in covenant and faith, that there can be a better world, this is especially meaningful as a countercultural act when the dominant culture all around us is one of fear. Have you felt it? Yeah, I have felt it too. A deliberate culture of fear that is being propagated and tended by people in power who would have us fearful so that we remain small and quiet. Last week, the news broke. I don't know why I just got so emotional about it. I think it's because you'll understand when I say it. The news broke that the Department of Defense eliminated from its list of possible religious affiliations over 180 religions. Pagans, Druids, Wiccans, Humanist, Native American, and Unitarian Universalist. Of course, this is devastating news, not because there is a direct implication of action. There isn't. My Unitarian Universalist minister colleagues have been discussing this, and I'd like to share some words from my friend and colleague, Omega Burkhart. So military colleagues, chaplains, and pastors will still continue to serve as UUs, and they will continue to pastor to UUs. But now, when a service person enlists or requests chaplain care, they will have to mark other on their paperwork. It's a belittling. It's an intentional attempt at dehumanization. It's a purposeful marginalization. Many of the signers of the Declaration of Independence were Unitarian and Universalist. But here is why this won't break our spirits or marginalize us. We have always been here, and we always will. We have always been a people gathered by action and values, as the story of Norbert and Maya Capek illustrates. Because Norbert didn't bring the flower ceremony to the United States. No. Minister Capek was imprisoned by the Nazis in a concentration camp and died there because he was exercising freedom of speech. He had a radio program and he was talking about the atrocities that the Nazis were engaging in. So Maya and the children were able to escape and get to the US, and Maya brought the flower ceremony to us. She actually did it first, I think, in Orange County, New Jersey. So we have this ritual because someone escaping annihilation from fascism brought it to us, a Unitarian. Now, fear is what makes us small. It draws us inward, it narrows us, it sends us reaching for the familiar, for faces like our own and voices that agree. A frightened people wants a single flower repeated 100 times because sameness feels like safety. The congregation in that plain room in Prague knew this fear. 5 years out of a great war, they were not sure they could trust one another across all that made them different. Norbert Capek could have answered their fear with an argument. He could have stood before those hard wooden chairs and explained carefully and at length why difference is good and trust is possible and they ought to feel less afraid, but he did not. Instead, he asked them to bring a flower. This is the wisdom at the heart of our tradition, and it's easy to miss because it's so quiet. He didn't try to talk them out of their fear. He gave them something beautiful to hold and let that beauty do what arguments cannot. For you cannot, in the same moment, fear a thing and find it beautiful. Beauty unclenches the hand. It softens what fright has hardened. It opens the closed fist back into an open palm. And notice what kind of beauty he chose. Not the cool symmetry of a single perfect bloom, but a whole bunch of blooms crowded with difference. The beauty of that vase in that plain worship room in 1923 was not in spite of its variety. The beauty was the variety, the messiness, the difference. No single flower could have made it. It took all of them, each unlike the other, each needing its own kind of care to make a thing lovely enough to quiet a frightened room. So here is the gift the flowers offer us, the same one they offered Prague a century ago. Our differences are not a problem to be solved before we can be beautiful together. Our differences are the beauty. The community we long for is not a collection of identical blooms. It is the crowded basket of many flowers, and it could not be nearly as lovely any other way. So this ceremony also asks us to do something hard. It asks us not to hold on and take the flower we brought. It asks us to choose a different flower, chosen and tended by hands we may never know. We trust an offering enough to take it for our own. So the flower you chose is resting beside you now, perhaps. And the youth have carried theirs down the hall to their rooms. It's a small thing, and it will not outlast the week. But take it home as a stubborn act of faith, that we are more beautiful together than apart, that our differences are a gift and not a threat, and that beauty, plain and simple, can still answer our fear. Dear ones, may it be so. And now, I will extinguish the chalice and we will have another beautiful offering from one of our scholarships recipients. So I extinguish the light of the chalice, but not the light we carry within. Go with peace and light in your heart, knowing that we are one and you are loved.
Nathaniel had another obligation this morning, and we had contracted a pianist to assist our scholarship winners in what's really some very difficult repertoire. That pianist got violently ill this morning at 3 a.m. and notified us at 6 a.m. that there was no way she could play. At 8 o'clock, I thought we probably would be canceling the performance of our musicians. I wasn't really sure what we were going to do with music. And I'm sure Elena, our guest pianist this morning, Elena Ananyeva, was probably planning a lovely day in the sun. She got a call, jumped in a car, got dressed, I assume, jumped in a car, and was here by 9:30. I am so grateful, and I would like everyone to thank her. And now we'll hear from our other scholarship winner.